Hi guys, hope you're well and taking good care of yourselves. Thank you again for joining me in this video and following me in the journey from 100 to a house. Now I know you haven't heard from me for a while. It's been very busy and I've made some, progress here and there. I am happy and I am upset at the same time. The emotions are a bit crazy, but I'm still smiling and we are still progressing. We are definitely progressing and I'll explain later. But in this video, what I want to actually do is continue the process of me giving you business ideas, all right? Viable business ideas that you can actually, do the research on, right? Because I'm not a financial advisor, but you can go and do the research on and see that these things are possible, right? And you can also be inspired by my 100 to a house challenge, that if this guy can do it from £100, there's nothing stopping you from doing whatever it is you want to accomplish. So right now, I'm going to think of an idea that will benefit everybody, right? So, so one that will benefit everyone. Let's say budget dependent, okay? So if your budget is what I'm soon to be on, say 300, right? To 35 grand, okay? So let's say I just said to myself, forget the auctions, I'm still doing the challenge. I'm gonna take this 300 that I've made from the 100 and do something totally different and hopefully get to the house, right? It will probably take longer, but it's a business. I'm not gonna do that, but I'm just giving you an idea, okay? So, something, okay, right, okay, got it, okay. Every automobile, car, motorcycle, scooters, airplanes, everything out there requires parts. Oh. Okay. I think I've gotten that out of the way. Okay. Everything requires parts. Woo! Woo! Everything requires parts. Now, let's say, okay, right. Some parts are molded. For example, some car parts, they have machines that mold and melt the metal and put it into molds, right? And that's how the parts are created. But some parts are printed, all right? So those that are not, some are made in molds, some are made via prints. And this goes for every single vehicle, from scooter all the way through to airplanes. There are machines that print out these parts, right? So what I'm getting at is a 3D printer. Now you can buy a 3D printer from around about 300, I think, or 250 or something like that, depending on what you want to do and your budget, all the way to the tens of thousands. I think you can get one for 35 grand. I'm pretty sure if you're printing parts for airplanes, it will probably cost around about that price, right? But then you have a niche market or small market to work with, but it is very lucrative, okay? So let's say you go into supplying parts for automobiles or for airplanes, right? Parts that you print. Now, for those of you who are on a low budget, like the 300s, under 1,000 or under 5,000, the idea is to sell something that is a necessity. Okay? So like the others, they can focus on planes and then do the parts and, you know, be competitive. Where you guys are going in, you don't want to be doing fidget spinners. All right? You can do toys. What I will say, if you're going to do toys, is to concentrate on stuff like cosplay, right? Whereas they use figurines, or you may be able to print out some, you know, like the Iron Man helmet, right? So that you can get good value for your time and money, rather than just fidget spinners you can only sell for a maximum of $4 or $3 or something like that, right? If you are going in on the low end, the idea that you could use is limbs, right? So for those who have been unfortunate to lose limbs, you can print out new limbs, right? And you can customize it by measuring the actual person rather than just doing a whole bulk load, right? You leave that to China or whoever's doing it, right? But then you can customize, make it personal to the actual person who's using the arm or the leg, whatever it is that you're replacing, right? And you can then, you know, focus on making sure it's as comfortable as possible, making sure, right? An idea would be this: when you print a limb, say to the elbow or wherever it cuts off, extend the skin, all right? Whatever you cover it with, whichever color, right? You extend the skin past where the actual part ends. Because what I've noticed is when someone who's got an amputee, right, takes the part off, it's like, boom. Do you understand what I'm saying, right? It's like that. And it's, I understand that it's a part, but I think what they will want is to feel as normal as possible, right? You don't want to be walking and someone will see that you're wearing another leg. What you should do as the manufacturer is extend the skin, so the skin goes past where the part stops, so that even they can roll off, they can roll their, do you know what I mean? They can roll their, if it stops here, for example, right? And the skin goes further down to the elbow, they can roll their sleeve down and no one will be any the wiser. You see what I'm saying? They'll feel more normal. Same thing when, if it's down to the shin, you make sure, right? Especially if it's for a female, the skin, right? You're able to adjust it where it goes up the thigh, because they like wearing skirts. They don't want someone noticing that it stops at the shin or at the knee. Do you understand? They will feel more normal. You can customize it that way. For those of you in the mid thousand range, like before 10 grand, you can do musical instruments that require parts, right? Even if you are on a low budget, musical instruments are usually wood or plastic, right? So you can do that. Maybe some keys and some pianos, you have to spend more money to get those parts, right? You can literally do parts for anything, do saxophone parts, or you can actually make your own musical instruments using a 3D printer. A 3D printer can put you in the parts business, and you can solidify yourself by being competitive because you do everything in-house. right? Scooters. You can print the mud guards for scooters. It's needed here. You can print the throttle. It's needed here. The base plate, you can print that. That's plastic. It's needed here. You can do so many parts, and you make a killing if you do it correctly. So get whatever it is that you're interested in. Make sure you get the parts measured and then print away, right? Make sure as well the numbers work. Don't spend more than you can actually make back. You need to make sure that your return on investment shouldn't be any longer than 3-4 months. I understand in certain businesses, when it comes to certain investments, it will take longer. So maybe they say 18 months you won't be making that much money. You may even break even. I don't believe in that theory, but that's what they say. Get some financial advice. This idea is free. You found it on YouTube, and you can make it happen to change everything to be where you want to be in life. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll say that in the beginning in the next video.